filters in the reverse osmosis purification system. In this video, I will show you step by step how to do that. So stay tuned and let's get started. So we're gonna need some kind of tank where we can pour the water from this filter housing so it doesn't drip on the floor. And we're gonna need a wrench. This is the wrench for the filter housings. You're gonna need that to open these filter housings. Without the wrench, it will be very difficult to do it. And this one's got a sediment filter and 2 carbon filters. You might have a different configuration. Sometimes, depending what reverse osmosis system you have, you might have 1 sediment, 1 carbon, and maybe like the iron removal or something like that. But this one's got sediment and 2 carbon ones. It's all going to be working the same. So let's do that. And before changing the filters, make sure to turn off the water. So what you need to do, you just need to lift up this whole reverse osmosis system. It might be pretty heavy because it's all full with water. And after that, put the reservoir underneath and use the wrench to open up this housing. As you can see, I have already put an arrow to remember which way to untie it, because after some time you might forget. And in this case, it's actually going clockwise and not counterclockwise. So it could be a little bit confusing. If you think like a regular knot would go clockwise to actually tighten it and counterclockwise to loosen it. In this case, it's actually opposite. So this is why I put this arrow to remember how to do that in the future. So you just gotta get some lever, hold it tight and just give it a rotation. Usually it doesn't require too much force. Now you can just use your hand to open it up. And just slowly unscrew it. As you can see, there might be a little bit of water spilling. This is why you need this reservoir. Oops. You can just put it down. So one is done. Then you can do the second one. Same thing. So you can see it's very simple. And I actually want to see how it looks, because I haven't changed these filters for the whole year. You're supposed to change it every 6 to 12 months. I decided to go 12 months because I have another filtering system for the tap water. So it's getting filtered pretty good. This is why I'm just going maximum. I'm not going 6 months, I'm going 12 months. Oops. And this is the carbon filter. So there are 2 types of carbon filters. There is one pressed carbon and another one is different. And as you can see here, this is just, I put this styrofoam here so it doesn't vibrate, because I got an additional pump here to increase the pressure so it filters quicker and it doesn't waste so much water. But when the pump is working, these tubes are touching the housing and it's making noise, so that's why I put it here. Well, this is the last one. Let's go ahead and do this one. This third one might be a bit tricky to do, because, oh, there we go. So you can do all 3 of them pretty easy. These filters look like, as you can see, the first filter, this is the sediment filter. It's not bad for being 1 year old. Usually they get much dirtier than this. But because I have another filter along the line on the tap water, this is why it's not very dirty. Then this is our second filter. This is the carbon filter. Doesn't look bad, actually. Well, maybe there is some dirt over here, but this is actually minor. Doesn't look bad at all. I mean, there's definitely some dirt, but very minimal. And even the yeah, the water doesn't look very good, so we can wash that later. And this is the third carbon filter. This is so that it comes with a good odor and stuff. This one's completely covered in plastic, so you can't really see what's inside. But you know what? It doesn't look bad at all. We're gonna go ahead and wash all these housings, and then we're gonna put them back. And if you can see here, the housings don't look bad. I mean, there's a little bit of dirt, but you can never clean them perfectly unless you actually remove them from this mounting plate and then you just wash them. But that's a lot of work and it's not required usually because the reverse osmosis membrane is going to capture everything, so you don't really need to do that. You want to somewhat clean the inside here. I'm just using like a regular paper towel and just clean the inside. But of course, it's going to be hard to get rid of all this dirt or gray stuff. I don't know what that sediment or something. So yeah, but anyway, this is going to be good enough. So let's go ahead and wash them. This kind of sponge to wash it, and you just rub it. You don't need to use any soap or nothing like that. You might use some dishwashing soap, but only if it's really dirty. Besides that, I think it should be just fine. And as you can see, I have cleaned these housings, so they look pretty clean. There's almost nothing there. It looks great. As you can see, this one's really white. And then this one here is absolutely clean, as you can see. The only thing, I don't know what happened to this housing. It was absolutely transparent before, but with time it starts to get that haze on the inside and you can really feel it. It's rough on the inside now. Before it was smooth. I'm not sure what caused it because when I bought it, it was absolutely transparent and it was smooth on the inside. Let me know in the comment section below if you faced that before and if you know what is the problem with this housing. It's a genuine aqua filter housing, so I'm not sure what caused it because I'm just using the regular tap water and it seems to be alright. The rest of the housings are nice and smooth on the inside, but those were not transparent from the beginning, and these are also aqua filter housings. Okay, let's go ahead and install new filters and put them back on the filtering system. So I got all three new filters. This is the sediment removal. This is 5 micron. You can even get down to 1 micron, or you can choose like 10, 20, or even 50 micron. The 5 micron, this is what came with this filtering system, so I'm just going to be using exactly the same one. And this is a genuine filter from Aqua Filter. I actually find they're one of the best. I have tried other sediment filters as well, but they don't seem to work as good. So this is one. Then this is a charcoal filter or the carbon block filter, and it's meant to fight against chlorine, organic compounds removal, and improve water taste and aroma, or the smell. So this is the FCCBL. And then this one is a chlorine and organic compound removal. It's also a carbon filter, and this is a granular activated carbon. So this is the FCCA. Yeah, let's go ahead and open them up and install them. When you put the filter inside there, you just gotta make sure that the opening is gonna be where that hole is there. So you just gotta make sure it's going like that. And this housing came with this antibacterial ring as well, so you can put it like this on the filter and it actually centers it pretty good. So there we go. So once you see it's all the way in, it's supposed to be like this, and then this ring is just gonna be sitting like this. So now it's all ready for the installation. The carbon filter looks like this. Got 2 rubber gaskets, one on the top, one on the bottom. And it's actually bidirectional, I believe. So there is no top and bottom. Same as for this one. Make sure to put these gaskets, and if you don't have gaskets on these filters, you need to have these gaskets, otherwise it will be leaking. Just put it in this filter housing until it's flush with the filter housing. As you can see, it's not sticking out. If it's sticking out a bit, then it means it's not centered and it's not all the way in. You won't be able to install it, so make sure it's flush like this, and now it's all centered. This one is a granular carbon filter as well. And this one does have a bottom and top, as you can see. So this is your top. You can't see through, unlike this one here. The hole goes all the way through. This one doesn't have the hole going all the way through. You can see there is some kind of material there, and there is a gasket right here. And on the top it looks like this, and on the bottom there are holes on the bottom. And there is also some sort of material on the bottom here. That would be a good idea if they would actually put the arrow where the top or bottom is, but I guess they didn't do it, so it doesn't matter. Same thing, just put it like this. There we go. Once it's flush, ready for the installation, let's go ahead and install it. Before putting these filter housings back together, I usually put some kind of like grease. So this is cosmetic grease, so just put a little bit. It's for the lips. So anything that's you can use for the lips, just put it on this rubber O-ring. Because if you put it on the rubber O-ring, next time it will be easier to remove it. Like when you're changing filters on your automotive, you want to loop the O-ring. This way it will be easier next time to remove it. So usually do it on all three of them. This way next time will be easier to remove them. So the installation will be a reverse to removal. I have disconnected the tank. This way it's not going to be in the way. When you're installing it, try to shake it so it kind of centers the cartridge inside. And as you can see, this one goes pretty good. Then just hand tighten it. Then after that, just go ahead and use the wrench, but just slightly. Don't over tighten it or nothing like that. We're gonna check for any leaks later. When you're installing it, try to shake it. This way it will be centered. There we go. You don't want it to be out of center, because if you tighten it and it's out of center, it might just damage it. Make sure when it's centered, then just use the wrench to tighten it a little bit more. After that, we're gonna check for leaks, and if one of them leaking, we're gonna tighten it even more. The last one. I can feel it's going pretty good by hand. Now I'm just gonna use the wrench and tighten it. There we go. So once we got the filters changed, we need to run the water through and make sure to run at least 10 to 20 liters to wash the filters from like old stuff, and then after that you can use the water. So we need to close the tank. If you have your tank open, go ahead and close it. Then go ahead and remove the clip, the bucket, and we can put this tubing over here. So we're gonna put about 10 to 20 liters. So let's go ahead and turn the water on. It's gonna start filling this filter. It's gonna fill up the whole system. As you can see, it already has started dripping. And I'm gonna turn on this pump so it will go quicker. Now the pump has started working, and as you can see, the water has started to filter way quicker, and we should be all good to go. As you can see, the water has started going really quick, and the pump is working. So I got about 10 liters, I think, in this bucket here, so I won't be doing any more because it's taking so long. The water is very clean, there's nothing, so I will just put everything back together and put it back in. Once you touch the filter housing, make sure there is no leaks anywhere after you turn the water on. It should not be leaking. If it's not leaking, then you're good to go, and we're all done. Okay, let's check out if the water is running. And yeah, there we go. So yeah, it's all working. Don't forget to open the valve for the tank, as well as the valve for the water supply, which is your main water supply that goes to your first filter stage. There we go. Actually, it's all working quiet now, which is really great. Usually there is some vibration due to the pump working, but right now it's actually all working good. I'm still gonna keep this styrofoam just in case, because it might get some vibration somewhere. So we're all done. The filters are replaced and they're gonna be good for another half a year to a year until we need to change them again. I hope you find this video helpful. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel to see more videos. If you want to know how to pump this tank once it loses pressure inside, I'm gonna make another video about that as well, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss new videos. And if you have any comments, questions, suggestions, drop them down in the comment section below. I'll be happy to read those comments and help you if I can. But this is it for now. I hope you have a nice day. See you soon. Bye bye.